Hello, Internet. It's me. Today is December 31st, 2019. It is the end of the year. It is the end of a decade as well. A lot of people are doing decade end reviews over the last week, and I figured, you know, I've been wanting to start my YouTube channel for about 10 years now. And it was yet again a New Year's resolution of mine to get my channel started. So what better time than the last possible day this decade to get this channel off the ground. I can finally check that New Year's resolution that I made 364 days ago. I can finally check that off the list. Literally at the final fucking day of the year. Awesome. I thought I would look back at where I was 10 years ago and everything that's happened to me over the last 10 years. It doesn't feel like the end of a decade. It really doesn't. Maybe that it's, as far as decades go, it's kind of a weird decade like the teens. Maybe the transition from like the 20s to the 30s will be more of a, feel more significant, I guess, than it does like the teens to the 20s. It's kind of like the aughts or whatever you would call that into the teens didn't really feel like a big transition from one decade to the next. I actually remember where I was New Year's Eve 10 years ago in 2009. I was in a really run-down apartment with a girl that I had no business being with, and she had no business being with me. We kind of made each other miserable, didn't really like each other very much, but nonetheless we're together for several years. So you can already tell that this decade was not starting off on the right foot. Her parents had come down and they spent the weekend with us. Actually, they spent Christmas with us, and I was expecting them to go home, and they decided to stay an extra week. And so New Year's Eve 2009 was spent inside the living room of my crappy apartment with a girlfriend that I didn't really enjoy being with, and her parents, who wanted nothing to do with me. And that's how I ushered in 2010, this last decade that we've just all lived through. That was kind of a dark time for me, for sure. But things gradually picked up over the years, and after this decade has gone by, now that it's ended, I kind of look back at it with some admiration, and there was a lot of good times in there. There were a lot of really, really dark spots, but overall, I look back at it positively, and I hope that whoever is watching out there, you can maybe share in that general sentiment, that feeling that maybe there were some tough times, but overall, you're happy to have made it through these last 10 years, because I know there's a couple parts for me where I don't know if I was going to make it or not. It's life can be tough sometimes, but we're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about good things that have happened, or maybe we won't. I don't know. I'm just happy to finally be getting this YouTube channel started. I first kind of stumbled upon YouTube in 2008, and I started watching what YouTube was in 2008. It was cat videos, it was crazy conspiracy videos, it was music, and just people like me right now sitting on a couch in their dumbass bedroom speaking into a camera about God knows what. It's definitely a far cry from what it is today, which is, pretty commercialized and corporatized. and highly produced videos from people that are much more attractive and much better at speaking than I am. So I'm coming to the show about 10 years too late. And it was really about 2010 that I really started realizing you could be a regular person and upload videos to YouTube. And I didn't understand that you could make a living at YouTube until many, many years later. And once again, I'm late to the boat on that because nobody makes a living just with YouTube anymore, solely from views and ad revenue, right? That's pretty much non-existent. We've gone through 3 adpocalypses now, so yeah, that I'm late to the show yet again. But I realized in about 2010 that you could just be a creator. You could create content and you could put it out there on the internet, and if people were able to stumble across it, or you were able to drive traffic to your video, people will watch it. And to me, it seemed like such a huge opportunity for me. If I could get 150 people watching my videos, I would see that as a huge success. Because I don't know 150 people in my personal life, and if there's 150 people out there that will watch and enjoy what I do, I mean, that's huge. That's huger than anything I could ever do in my personal life. Meeting somebody face to face in person and having them appreciate anything that I do. So, I'm not looking for big views with my channel or anything like that. I'm just looking to express myself, and hopefully there's a very small number of people out there that will appreciate what I do, and maybe it can make your day a little bit better, or maybe teach you something, or just show you a different perspective of other people out there, or whatever the case may be. I know a lot of time when I watch YouTube, I'm just happy to see that there's other regular people out there like me who are willing to talk about their lives, and kind of gives me perspective on what I'm doing with my life, and that makes me feel good. So anyways, I've been rambling for quite a few minutes now. I've been wanting to start a YouTube channel, like I said, for about 10 years now, once I discovered you could create content. And I've done I've probably shot maybe 50 different videos with the camera that I'm shooting with right now, with my cell phone, with a GoPro. I've bought microphones and different cameras to try to make videos. I've hiked up mountains to, get the right backdrop for my first video, because I wanted my first video on YouTube to be this big, production. I could look back and be like, my first video, I did this thing, and it was so good, and it was, everything that I wanted it to be, and I nailed it on my first video. Right out of the gate, I was doing things perfectly the way that I wanted to. And then I would get home and I would try to start editing my videos, and I realized, oh God, this is unwatchable. This is quite terrible. Nobody can ever be allowed to see this. This will never see the light of day. And so I would erase it, and I would start over again and again and again and again, and they would always come out substandard to what I wanted to. And so what was the result of that? The result was years wasted of never having any content on my channel. So I'm making this video here on literally the last day of the year, December 31st, 2019, just so that I can get something on my channel, and at least there's something there now. I've got the first video out of the way. It's not what I wanted it to be. It's not the perfect video that I can look back at and say, my first video, I had it figured out. It was perfect. It was exactly what I wanted. It's never going to be that. So as long as I have this out and it's posted, I can work on the second video and then the third video and on to however many videos I decide I'm capable of making, or however many videos people actually want to watch of mine. So it's not very flashy, you know. I'm sitting on a rundown couch. I've got a ridiculous pimple right in the middle of my face today, which is why I'm wearing this hat, because I'm trying to distract you from that. My hair isn't done, you know. So anyways, let's not dwell on that. Don't look at me right now. I just wanted to get this video out there and start with my channel, and I have a lot of big plans for the future, things that I, you know, have dreamt about for this channel. I don't know if I'll ever get close to ever achieving any of the things that I have in mind for this, but the things that I've thought about, the opportunities and capabilities that having a YouTube channel can bring into my life, and the things that I would be able to express, and the ideas that I have. It's such a romantic and, you know, audacious idea and feeling that I have. I have to try. You know, that's the very least that I can do, and so I'm getting this out there today, ending the decade on a right note. Is that the right way to say that? On a correct note, on a good note, I guess. And I'm looking forward to the 2020s. The roaring 20s, man. Gosh, that sounds so strange. I'm afraid to curse. That sounds so unbelievably strange and weird. But as terrible as the 2010s started off, and how well they ended for me, I am so looking forward to the 2020s, and I'm hoping that I can bring everybody that will watch these videos along with me, and I hope that I have some really good stuff to share with people, and that whoever is out there, whether it's one person or, you know, I don't even want to say 1 million people, but, you know, I mean, that sounds like pump the brakes a little bit, you know. But if it's one person or 100 people that are watching these videos in the future, I hope that I can continue to entertain you and teach you and show you a little bit of what I want to show, I guess. I'm really good at this, by the way, if you couldn't tell. Hopefully that will get better in the future. But for right now, Happy New Year. Have a happy upcoming decade, and I will see you in the future.